Tonight, we are going somewhere quiet. A place far away from traffic, far away from glowing phone screens, and far away from the constant noise of the modern world. Instead, we are going to step slowly into a peaceful little village somewhere in medieval England. A place where the loudest sound might simply be a rooster greeting the sunrise. A place where people wake with the sun, work slowly through the day, and rest when darkness spreads across the sky. There are no alarm clocks here, no buzzing phones, no rushing to meetings, just the soft wind moving through tall grass, the distant creak of wooden wheels, and the quiet rhythm of everyday life. So tonight, as you settle into your bed, let your shoulders relax. Take a slow breath in and slowly breathe out. Allow the noise of the day to fade away, and imagine yourself standing on a narrow dirt path in the English countryside about 700 years ago. The air is cool. The sky is pale blue with the first hint of morning light. And in the distance, a small medieval village is beginning to wake. The village is small, perhaps 30 houses, each one built from wood, stone, and thick bundles of straw that form the roof. These straw roofs are called thatched roofs. They keep the rain out and help keep homes warm in winter. Thin lines of smoke rise slowly from chimneys, drifting quietly into the cool morning air. The dirt road that runs through the village is narrow. It winds between houses before continuing toward the open countryside. The ground is still damp with morning dew. Tiny drops of water rest on blades of grass, sparkling softly in the early light. For a few peaceful moments, the village is almost completely silent. Then, slowly, life begins to stir. A rooster calls loudly from a nearby yard. Its voice echoes across the quiet fields. Inside one of the small cottages, a farmer opens his wooden door. He steps outside, stretching his arms after a long night of sleep. He breathes in the fresh morning air, the smell of earth, wood smoke, and distant fields. Nearby, a woman walks slowly toward the village well. She carries a wooden bucket in both hands. The well stands in the center of the village. It is one of the most important places here. Every morning, villagers come here to collect water. But the well is also something else. It is the village meeting place. This is where people share news, where neighbors greet each other, and where simple conversations begin. Soon another villager arrives, then another. They greet each other quietly. Someone talks about the weather, someone else mentions the wheat fields, and someone shares a small story about a traveler who passed through the village yesterday. These conversations are calm, unhurried. Nobody seems to be rushing anywhere, because in the medieval world, life moves slowly. As the sun rises higher, the entire village begins its daily rhythm. Farmers walk toward the fields beyond the houses. Each farmer carries simple tools, a wooden plow, an iron hoe, bundles of rope, and sometimes a sack of seeds. The farmland stretches far beyond the village. Large open fields divided into long strips of land. Each family works their own strip, growing crops like wheat, barley, and oats. These crops are extremely important because they will eventually become flour and finally bread. Bread is the foundation of medieval life. Almost every meal includes it. Without bread, a village could not survive. The work in the fields begins slowly. Farmers guide large oxen through the soil. Oxen are powerful animals. They move slowly but steadily, pulling heavy wooden plows through the earth. The farmer walks behind the plow, holding the handles firmly. The blade cuts through the soil, turning it over in long straight lines. It is hard work, but it is also quiet work. The sounds of the field are gentle. Wind brushing through tall grass, birds calling from distant trees, and the steady footsteps of animals moving across the earth. Back in the village, other kinds of work are beginning too. The blacksmith has opened his workshop. Inside, a fire burns brightly inside a stone furnace. The blacksmith heats pieces of iron until they glow orange. Then he places the metal on a heavy iron block called an anvil. And with a strong hammer, he begins shaping the metal. Clang, clang, clang. Each strike echoes softly through the village. The blacksmith makes tools, horseshoes, knives, and farming equipment. Without the blacksmith, the village could not function. Nearby, children begin their day as well. In medieval villages, children learn by helping their families. A young boy carries water from the well. Another gathers eggs from chickens. A young girl helps her mother grind grain into flour. Every task is small, but together they keep the village running. Life here is simple, and most days follow the same peaceful rhythm. Morning work, midday rest, evening meals, then darkness, and sleep beneath the stars. Now let us pause for a moment and explore a few small details about medieval life. Many medieval villagers never traveled far from home. Some people spent their entire lives within just a few miles of the place where they were born. Travel was slow, roads were rough, and horses were expensive, so most people stayed close to their village. Food was simple but nourishing. Bread was the most common meal, sometimes made from wheat, but often made from barley or rye. People also ate soups called pottage. Pottage was a thick soup made from vegetables, grains, and herbs. It cooked slowly in a large pot over the fire. Sometimes the pot stayed on the fire all day. New ingredients were added whenever they were available. Clothing was handmade. Most villagers wore wool. The fabric was thick, warm, and durable. Clothes were often repaired many times, because making new clothing required a lot of work. Candles were valuable, so evenings were usually dimly lit. Most homes relied on firelight for illumination. And perhaps the most beautiful detail of medieval life was the night sky. Without electric lights, the sky filled with stars, thousands of them, bright and clear. So when villagers stepped outside at night, they could see the entire universe above them. As evening approaches, the village slowly grows quieter again. Farmers return from the fields. Their steps are slower now. The work of the day is finished, and the air carries the comforting smell of cooking food. Inside small cottages, fires glow warmly in stone hearths. Families gather around wooden tables. Tonight's meal might include bread, vegetables, and a bowl of warm pottage. People eat slowly, talking quietly about the day. Outside, the sky begins to darken. Soft shades of purple and deep blue stretch across the horizon. One by one, small candles flicker inside village homes, and then slowly the village grows silent. The blacksmith's fire fades. The baker's oven cools. Animals settle quietly inside their barns, and above the peaceful rooftops the stars appear. Hundreds of them, then thousands, shining softly over the quiet medieval countryside. The village sleeps, and the night stretches onward, quiet and still. The village sleeps quietly now. Most homes are dark. Only a few small candles still glow inside narrow windows. The night air feels cool and calm. A soft breeze moves slowly across the fields, carrying the faint smell of damp earth and wood smoke. Above the village, the sky is deep and clear. Without streetlights or electric lamps, the stars appear brighter than most people in the modern world ever see. Thousands of them, stretching across the sky like a wide river of light. Many villagers believe the stars are signs placed in the sky by God. Others simply admire their beauty. A farmer steps quietly outside his cottage. He looks upward for a moment. The sky seems endless. After a few moments, he quietly returns inside and closes the wooden door behind him. The village rests, but not everyone is asleep. In many medieval villages, there is someone responsible for walking through the streets at night. This person is called the night watchman. His job is simple but very important. He walks slowly through the village, making sure everything remains safe. Fires are one of the biggest dangers in medieval towns. Most homes are made from wood. Roofs are covered with straw, so even a small fire can spread quickly. That is why the watchman keeps a careful eye on every chimney. Tonight, the watchman walks along the narrow dirt road. He carries a wooden staff and a small lantern that glows with warm yellow light. His footsteps are slow. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The dirt road is quiet beneath his boots. Occasionally he pauses, listening carefully. But there is nothing unusual tonight, just the sound of wind and distant animals shifting inside their barns. The watchman stops near the village well.
He lifts his lantern slightly, letting the light sweep across the empty square. Everything looks peaceful. Satisfied, he continues his slow walk through the sleeping village. While the village sleeps, let us quietly step inside one of the cottages. The home is small, perhaps just 2 rooms. The walls are made from wooden beams, with spaces filled using mud and straw. The roof above is thick with thatch. Inside the home, a small fire glows inside the hearth. The fire provides warmth during the cool night. A simple iron pot still hangs above the embers. Earlier in the evening, it held a thick vegetable pottage. Now the pot is nearly empty. The family sits together near the fire. A father, a mother, and 2 young children. The children are already asleep. They lie beneath heavy wool blankets. Beds in medieval homes are simple, often just wooden frames filled with straw. But after a long day of work, they feel perfectly comfortable. The parents speak quietly near the fire. Their voices are soft. Perhaps they talk about the coming harvest
or the weather expected tomorrow. Eventually, the mother places another small piece of wood on the fire. The flame flickers gently. Then both parents prepare for sleep. One candle is blown out, then another. Soon the cottage becomes completely dark. Outside, the stars continue shining quietly above the village. Not every night in a medieval village is completely quiet. Sometimes, travelers pass through. Roads in medieval England connect many towns and villages. Merchants, pilgrims, and messengers travel these roads regularly. Tonight, a traveler approaches the village. His horse moves slowly along the dirt road. The journey has been long. Travel during medieval times requires patience. Roads are rough, and distances that feel short today could take many hours or even days. The traveler carries a small bag of supplies. Inside are simple items: bread, cheese, and perhaps a small piece of dried meat. He also carries letters that must be delivered to a nearby town. As he reaches the edge of the village, he notices a small wooden building with a lantern hanging outside. This is the village inn. The inn provides shelter for travelers. Inside, the innkeeper greets guests and offers a warm meal. The traveler ties his horse to a wooden post and gently opens the door. Inside, a small fire burns brightly. The warm light fills the room. A few other travelers sit at a wooden table, quietly finishing their meals. The innkeeper greets the traveler with a friendly nod. Soon a bowl of warm pottage is placed in front of him. The traveler eats slowly, grateful for a warm place to rest after a long journey. Although the village is quiet tonight, tomorrow will bring a very different kind of energy. Because tomorrow is market day. Market days are important events in medieval communities. Farmers bring their crops, blacksmiths sell tools, weavers sell cloth, and merchants bring goods from distant towns. Markets are lively places, full of voices, movement, and color. But they are also slow compared to modern markets. People walk between stalls, looking carefully at each item, sometimes trading goods instead of money. For example, a farmer might exchange a sack of wheat for a new iron tool. Children often enjoy market day the most, because markets sometimes include small treats, sweet honey cakes, fresh apples, or warm bread just baked that morning. But tonight, all of that excitement is still many hours away. For now, the village remains peacefully asleep. The deepest part of night has arrived. This is the quietest moment of the entire day. Even the wind seems to slow down. The village is completely still. Barn animals sleep quietly. Cottages remain dark. The night watchman finishes his final round, and the stars continue their silent journey across the sky. In the distance, an owl glides silently between trees. Its wings make almost no sound. Some villagers believe owls are mysterious creatures. Others simply admire their quiet presence in the night. Slowly, or very slowly, the hours pass, and somewhere far beyond the hills, the first hint of morning begins to approach. Slowly, very slowly, the night begins to change. At first, the difference is almost impossible to notice. The sky is still dark. The stars still shine above the quiet countryside. But somewhere beyond the distant hills, The sun is beginning its long journey upward. A faint grey color appears along the eastern horizon. The village remains silent. Most homes are still wrapped in deep sleep, but nature is already waking. A single bird calls softly from a nearby tree. Then another answers from farther away. Soon a few more birds join them. Their quiet songs drift gently across the fields. Inside the barn near the edge of the village, a horse shifts its weight slowly. The wooden stall creaks softly. A cow exhales a long sleepy breath. Animals sense the coming morning before humans do. The sky slowly changes color. Dark blue becomes pale blue. Then hints of soft pink stretch across the horizon. Inside one of the cottages, a farmer begins to wake. He opens his eyes slowly. For a moment he lies still, listening to the quiet sounds of early morning. Then he sits up, pulling a wool blanket around his shoulders. The air inside the cottage is cool. The fire in the hearth has burned low during the night. Only a few glowing embers remain. The farmer quietly stands. He places another small log on the fire. Soon a gentle flame returns, casting warm orange light across the room. Outside, the first true light of morning touches the village rooftops. Another rooster calls loudly. This time, the sound spreads quickly. Within minutes, several roosters across the village answer each other. Morning has arrived. The village slowly begins to stir. Wooden doors open one by one. People step outside, stretching their arms after a long night of rest. The morning air feels fresh and cool. Thin lines of smoke begin rising from chimneys again. Fires are being rebuilt inside stone hearths. Breakfast in medieval villages is simple, often just bread, sometimes with a little cheese, and occasionally a warm bowl of leftover pottage from the night before. Near the center of the village, the well becomes busy again. Villagers arrive carrying wooden buckets. They lower ropes slowly into the deep stone well. The bucket disappears into darkness until it reaches the water below. Then it is carefully pulled back up. The sound of rope sliding over wood echoes softly. Water splashes gently inside the bucket. Soon people begin returning to their homes, carrying fresh water for the day. A young boy runs past the well carrying a basket. Inside the basket are eggs gathered from the chickens. His mother will use them to prepare the morning meal. Nearby, an elderly man sits on a small wooden bench outside his cottage. He watches the village wake up around him. The slow rhythm of daily life is comforting. Because in medieval villages, most days follow a familiar pattern. While many villagers are just waking, the baker has already been working for hours. Bread is the heart of medieval meals. Almost every family in the village depends on the baker. Inside the small bakery, the large stone oven glows with intense heat. The baker works carefully beside a long wooden table. On the table sits a mound of flour. He slowly adds water, mixing the ingredients with strong, steady movements. Soon the dough begins to form. It is thick, soft, and slightly sticky. The baker kneads the dough again and again, pushing it forward with both hands, then folding it back over itself. This process makes the bread strong and smooth. After kneading, the dough rests for a short time. Then it is shaped into large round loaves. Each loaf is placed onto a long wooden paddle. The baker slides the paddle carefully into the oven. One by one, the loaves disappear into the glowing heat. Soon the smell of fresh bread begins drifting through the village. Warm, comforting, familiar. For many villagers, that smell is the true beginning of the day. Beyond the village, the fields stretch far across the countryside. Morning sunlight now spreads across the land. The dew on the grass sparkles brightly. Farmers walk toward their strips of land. Some guide oxen pulling wooden plows. Others carry baskets filled with seeds. Farming in medieval times requires patience. The soil must be prepared slowly. Long straight lines are carved into the earth. Seeds are dropped carefully into the fresh soil, then covered again by hand. This work continues hour after hour. But there is something peaceful about the fields. The wide open sky above, the steady movement of animals, and the quiet sound of wind passing through crops. Occasionally farmers pause to rest. They wipe sweat from their brows, then look across the land they are working. For many medieval villagers, the fields are both their livelihood and their home. Back in the village, animals play an important role in daily life. Chickens wander freely through small yards. They scratch at the dirt, searching for insects and seeds. A group of ducks waddles slowly toward a small pond. Their feathers shine softly in the morning light. A pig snorts loudly while exploring near a wooden fence. Pigs are valuable animals. They eat scraps of food and grow quickly. Horses are used for travel and pulling carts, but they are expensive to own. So many farmers rely instead on oxen, large or slow, and powerful animals, perfect for pulling heavy plows through the fields. Even cats have an important role in the village. They help keep mice away from stored grain. A small grey cat sits quietly near the bakery door, watching carefully, waiting for any tiny movement. Life in the medieval village depends on both people and animals working together. As the sun climbs higher, the village settles into the steady rhythm of work. The blacksmith's hammer begins its familiar pattern. Clang, clang, clang. Children carry water. Women prepare meals. Farmers continue their work in the fields. And the baker's fresh loaves cool slowly on wooden shelves. Despite all this activity, the village still feels calm. There are no engines, no machines, no sudden loud noises. Only the natural sounds of daily life. Wind, footsteps, voices speaking quietly, the distant call of birds, and somewhere, the slow turning of a wooden mill wheel beside a small stream. The day in the medieval village continues, steady, peaceful, and unhurried. By the middle of the morning, the quiet rhythm of the village begins to change slightly. Today is market day, and that means people from nearby farms, small villages, and distant roads will slowly gather here. The dirt road leading into the village becomes more active. In the distance, a wooden cart slowly rolls along the path. Its wheels creak softly as they turn. The cart is pulled by a patient brown horse. Walking beside the cart is a farmer from a nearby settlement. Inside the cart are baskets filled with vegetables, carrots, turnips, and round green cabbages. These will be sold at the village market. Not far behind him, another traveler approaches. This time it is a merchant carrying folded cloth over his shoulder. The cloth has been dyed deep shades of blue and red. Colors like these are valuable because creating dyes requires skill and time. By the time the sun climbs higher into the sky, several travelers have arrived. The village square slowly fills with movement. In the center of the village, wooden tables are arranged in neat rows. These tables will soon become market stalls. Farmers carefully place baskets of produce on the tables. Some bring onions tied together with string. Others bring fresh eggs gathered earlier that morning. The baker arrives with a large basket of bread. Round loaves stacked neatly beside each other. The smell of warm bread spreads quickly through the air. Nearby, a fisherman from a nearby river displays his catch. Wrapped in damp cloth, fresh fish lie neatly on a wooden board. The market grows busier. People walk slowly between the stalls, examining vegetables, touching pieces of cloth, and talking quietly with the merchants. There is no rush. Markets in medieval times are unhurried places. People take their time, looking carefully before making a purchase. Soon the village square fills with gentle sounds, voices speaking calmly, wooden carts rolling slowly across the dirt ground, coins clinking softly as they change hands. Unlike modern markets, the medieval market is not loud or chaotic. Instead, it feels almost relaxed. A farmer discusses the price of wheat with a merchant. Two women compare vegetables at a nearby stall. A child stands beside the baker, watching him slice pieces of bread for customers. The baker smiles kindly, offering the child a small piece to taste. The child takes it happily. Fresh bread is always a welcome treat. Nearby, a traveling musician sits on a wooden stool. He begins playing a small string instrument called a lute. The music is soft and gentle, simple melodies drifting through the market square. People listen quietly as they walk between the stalls. The music adds a peaceful rhythm to the morning. One of the most interesting parts of market day is seeing goods from distant lands. Most villagers rarely travel far from home, but merchants sometimes bring items from far away. At one stall, a merchant displays small bags filled with spices. These spices traveled many miles across trade routes. Cinnamon, pepper, and cloves. Their smell is strong and warm. Spices are expensive. Only wealthier families can afford them regularly. But even seeing them is exciting for many villagers. At another stall, a merchant sells metal tools, small knives, iron nails, and horseshoes. These tools were made by blacksmiths in nearby towns. Farmers examine them carefully. A good tool can last many years, so choosing the right one is important. Nearby, a cloth merchant carefully unfolds long pieces of fabric. Some cloth is plain brown wool. Others are dyed beautiful colors, deep blue, rich green, and soft red. These colors brighten the otherwise simple clothing of medieval life. As the market continues, the smell of cooking food begins filling the square. A woman stands beside a large iron pot placed over a small fire. Inside the pot, a thick stew slowly bubbles. Vegetables, herbs, and small pieces of meat cook together slowly. The warm smell spreads through the air. Travelers who have been walking all morning stop for a bowl of stew. They sit on wooden benches, resting their tired feet. Nearby, another stall sells honey cakes. These small cakes are made with flour, honey, and eggs. They are slightly sweet, which makes them a rare treat. Children often gather around this stall, watching carefully as fresh cakes are placed onto wooden plates. Sometimes a parent will buy one and share it with their child. These small moments make market day special. Markets are not just for buying and selling. They are also places where stories are shared. Travelers bring news from other towns. Sometimes they talk about new roads being built. Sometimes about distant kings or battles. But most stories are simple. Stories about weather, harvests, or unusual events seen along the road. Villagers gather around travelers, listening with curiosity. Because news from outside the village is rare. One traveler describes a large town he recently visited. He speaks about tall stone buildings, crowded streets, and a massive cathedral with bells that ring across the entire city. The villagers listen carefully. For many of them, such places feel almost like distant dreams. After a while, the traveler finishes his story. The listeners nod politely, then slowly return to their shopping. As the afternoon sun begins moving across the sky, the market slowly becomes quieter. Many goods have already been sold. Farmers begin packing their empty baskets. Travelers prepare for the road again. The baker has only a few loaves of bread remaining. The fisherman wraps his last fish in cloth, and the musician gently stops playing his lute. One by one, the wooden stalls are cleared. Tables are folded. Carts are loaded again. The village square gradually returns to its usual calm appearance. But the energy of market day still lingers. People carry their purchases home. Fresh vegetables, new tools, and perhaps a small sweet treat. Soon, the village will return completely to its normal rhythm. Quiet work, simple meals, and peaceful evenings. By the time the market ends, the village slowly returns to its peaceful rhythm. The square becomes quiet again. Wooden stalls have disappeared. Only a few footprints remain in the soft dirt where people walked earlier. Farmers return to their daily routines. Some head back toward the fields, checking their crops one last time before evening. Others repair tools or stack firewood beside their cottages. The afternoon sun hangs warmly above the countryside. Its light stretches across the open fields. Golden waves move gently through the tall wheat as the wind passes. In the distance, a farmer guides his oxen slowly along the edge of a field. Their work for the day is nearly finished. Nearby, a small group of children plays beside a wooden fence. They toss small stones into the air, trying to catch them again before they fall. Their laughter carries softly through the quiet air, but even their games remain calm. Because in medieval villages, life rarely feels rushed or loud. Everything moves slowly, guided by the rising and setting of the sun. At the edge of the village stands a small stone church. Its walls are thick and cool. The roof rises above the cottages, topped with a simple wooden cross. The church is one of the most important places in medieval life, not only for prayer, but also for gathering the community together. Inside the church, rows of wooden benches face a small stone altar. Candles rest in iron holders along the walls. Their flames flicker gently in the dim interior. A priest moves quietly through the room, preparing for the evening prayers. Soon, the church bell begins to ring. The sound is deep and steady. One slow chime, followed by another. The bell carries across the fields. Farmers hear it while working. Villagers hear it from their homes. The bell is a signal, a reminder that the day is slowly coming to an end. Some villagers walk toward the church. Others pause in their work, bowing their heads briefly in prayer. The bell rings several more times. Then the sound fades gently into the quiet countryside. As the sun lowers in the sky, smoke begins rising again from village chimneys. Families are preparing the evening meal. Inside cottages, fires are built inside the hearth. Wood crackles softly as flames grow brighter. A pot is placed above the fire. Vegetables are chopped slowly on wooden boards. Carrots, turnips, leeks. Soon these vegetables are added to a pot of simmering pottage. The smell spreads warmly through the cottage. Nearby, fresh bread from the baker sits on a wooden table. One loaf is sliced slowly. Steam escapes from the soft center of the bread. A small piece of cheese is placed beside it. These simple foods will soon become dinner. The family gathers near the fire. They sit together on wooden stools. The room glows with warm orange light from the flames. Outside, the sky begins changing color. Soft orange spreads across the horizon. Then deep shades of red and purple follow. The day is slowly turning into evening. Before darkness arrives completely, some villagers prepare candles for the coming nights. Candles are valuable in medieval times. Without them, the night becomes very dark. Candle making requires patience. Animal fat, or called tallow, is melted slowly over a small fire. Thin strings called wicks are dipped into the melted fat, then lifted out again. This process is repeated many times. Each dip adds another thin layer of wax. Gradually, a thick candle begins to form around the wick. Once finished, the candles are hung to cool. When night arrives, these candles will provide the only light inside many homes. Their glow is soft and gentle, very different from the bright electric lights of the modern world, but perhaps more peaceful. Because the dim light encourages quiet evenings, slow conversations, and early sleep. Outside the village, the sun slowly approaches the horizon. The fields glow with golden light. Farmers walk home from their final tasks. Their shadows stretch long across the ground. The oxen move slowly beside them, their work finished for the day. Birds glide quietly through the sky, returning to their nests in nearby trees. A cool evening breeze moves through the tall grass. The entire countryside feels calm, peaceful, and still. The sun touches the edge of the distant hills, then slowly begins to disappear. For a moment, the sky glows bright orange and red.
Then the colors soften. Deep blue spreads across the sky. The first evening star appears. As darkness settles across the countryside, the village grows quiet again. Small candles flicker inside cottage windows. Families finish their meals. Wooden doors close gently. Barn animals settle into their stalls. The night watchman prepares for another slow walk through the streets. His lantern glows softly in the darkness. The stars begin appearing above the rooftops. One by one, they fill the sky. Soon thousands of tiny lights stretch across the heavens. The same stars that medieval villagers once watched still shine above us today. But without modern lights, they appear brighter than ever. The village rests beneath them, calm, peaceful, and quiet. Inside the cottages, families prepare for sleep. Candles are gently blown out. Beds made of straw and wool blankets wait quietly in the darkness. Outside, the night air feels cool and still. Only a few soft sounds remain. The distant hoot of an owl, the quiet rustle of wind through the trees, and the slow footsteps of the watchman completing his final round. Soon even these sounds fade away. The medieval village sleeps. The fields rest. The stars continue their silent journey across the sky, and the peaceful rhythm of another simple day comes to an end. So now, as the quiet countryside settles beneath the night sky, you can let your thoughts grow slower. Let the calm of the medieval world surround you, and drift gently, slowly into sleep. The night has now settled fully across the countryside. The village is completely quiet. Most homes are dark. Only the faint glow of a few dying embers remains inside the hearths. Outside, the air feels cool and still. The wind has slowed. The fields rest peacefully beneath the wide sky. Above the rooftops, the stars shine with quiet brilliance. Without modern lights, the night sky in medieval times is incredibly clear. Thousands of stars stretch across the darkness. Some appear bright and steady, others twinkle softly. Many villagers believe the stars hold meaning. Some think they are signs placed in the sky. Others believe they guide travelers across long distances. For tonight, they simply shine peacefully above the sleeping village. The night watchman continues his slow walk through the streets. His lantern casts a small circle of warm light around his feet. Step by step, he walks along the quiet dirt road. His boots press softly into the earth. Crunch, pause, crunch. The rhythm of his footsteps becomes the only sound in the village. He passes the bakery. Its oven has cooled. The smell of bread has faded. He walks past the blacksmith's workshop. The forge is dark. Cold iron tools rest quietly on wooden shelves. He stops for a moment near the well. Lifting his lantern slightly, he looks across the empty square. Everything remains calm. Satisfied, he continues his slow patrol. Even during the quietest hours, the countryside is never completely silent. In the distance, an owl glides silently between trees. Its wings move without a sound. Owls are expert hunters of the night. Their sharp eyes see clearly even in darkness. Near one of the barns, a horse shifts gently inside its stall. The wooden boards creak slightly as the animal moves. A cow exhales a slow breath. The warm air drifts into the cool night. Somewhere in the fields, a fox moves quietly through the tall grass, searching for small animals or insects. But the fox stays far from the village. The barn animals are protected behind strong wooden doors. For the most part, the night remains calm and undisturbed. Not far from the village, beyond the rolling hills, stands a small monastery. Monasteries were quiet places where monks lived simple lives of prayer and study. Even during the night, their routine continues. At certain hours, the monastery bell rings softly. The sound travels across the countryside, slow, deep, and peaceful. Inside the monastery, a few monks rise from their beds. They walk quietly through stone hallways, carrying small candles. Their robes brush softly against the floor. Soon they gather inside the chapel. There they begin quiet prayers. Their voices are calm and steady. The sound echoes gently beneath the high stone ceiling. After the prayers finish, the monks return to their simple rooms. The monastery grows silent again. The night continues moving slowly. Now the deepest part of night has passed. The air feels slightly colder. This is often the coldest moment before sunrise. The village remains asleep, but the sky has begun a very small change. Far along the horizon, the darkness is not quite as deep. The stars near the eastern sky begin to fade slightly. Morning is still far away, but the first signs of dawn are quietly approaching. Inside the cottages, people sleep beneath thick wool blankets, dreaming peacefully. The fires in their hearts have nearly gone out. Only faint glowing embers remain. Outside, the watchman completes one more slow walk around the village. Soon his work will be finished. Then something small happens. A single bird begins to sing. Its song is soft, almost hesitant. For a moment, the countryside remains quiet again. Then another bird answers from a nearby tree. Within a few minutes, several birds join the morning chorus. Their gentle songs spread across the fields. The sky slowly brightens. Dark blue becomes softer. A faint gray glow appears along the horizon. The stars begin disappearing one by one. The long night is slowly coming to an end. Inside one of the cottages, a farmer shifts beneath his blanket. He slowly opens his eyes. For a moment he listens to the birds outside. Then he sits up, stretching his arms. A new day has begun. He rises quietly, walking toward the hearth. Using a small stick, he stirs the remaining embers. Then he places a few pieces of dry wood on top. Soon the fire returns. Warm light spreads across the room. Outside, the eastern sky now glows pale orange. The sun is almost ready to rise. Soon the rooster will call again. Soon the baker will light his oven. Soon the village will wake. And another quiet day in the medieval countryside will begin. But for now, everything remains gentle. The morning is still calm. The sky continues brightening slowly. The fields wait quietly beneath the soft light. And the village begins another peaceful cycle of life. So as the countryside slowly wakes once again, you can allow your thoughts to grow quiet. Let the calm rhythm of the medieval village surround you. The slow turning of days and nights, the peaceful work, the quiet stars, and the gentle return of morning. Let your breathing slow. Let your body relax and drift peacefully into deeper sleep. The sun slowly rises above the distant hills. Soft golden light spreads across the countryside. The fields glow gently in the early morning air. Tiny drops of dew rest on blades of grass, sparkling quietly in the sunlight. Birds move through the trees, singing their simple morning songs. The village is beginning to wake again. Smoke rises slowly from several chimneys, thin gray lines drifting upward into the calm sky. Inside the cottages, people begin their morning routines. A farmer steps outside his small wooden home. He stretches slowly, breathing in the cool air. For a moment he stands still, watching the sunlight move across the fields. Then he begins preparing for another day of work. Life in a medieval village follows a steady rhythm. Each day is similar to the one before, and that rhythm brings a sense of calm to everyone who lives here. Soon the village well becomes busy again. Villagers arrive carrying wooden buckets. The well stands in the center of the village square. Its stone walls are worn smooth after many years of use. A woman lowers her bucket slowly into the well. The rope slides gently through her hands. The bucket disappears into the dark opening. Then comes the faint sound of water below. A moment later she pulls the rope upward again. The bucket emerges, filled with fresh, cool water. She pours some into a clay jug, then carries the rest back toward her home. Nearby, two neighbors pause for a quiet conversation. They talk about the weather. The sky looks clear today. Good weather means good conditions for working the fields. Another villager joins them. Soon the small group stands together, sharing simple morning conversation. These small moments are part of daily life. In medieval villages, people depend on one another, and the well becomes a place where the community gathers each day. Inside the bakery, the baker is already at work. He has been awake since before sunrise. Bread must be ready for the village before the morning grows too late. The stone oven glows with heat. A small fire burns inside, sending warm light across the room. The baker pours flour onto a wooden table, then adds water slowly. With strong, steady hands, he begins mixing the dough. He presses the dough forward, then folds it back again. This process continues for several minutes. The dough becomes smooth and soft. Soon it is ready to be shaped into loaves. Round pieces of dough are placed on wooden boards. The baker carefully slides them into the oven. Inside the oven, the heat begins transforming the dough. Soon the smell of baking bread spreads through the village once more. Warm, familiar, comforting. For many villagers, that smell signals the true beginning of the day. Not far from the bakery, several children begin their morning chores. In medieval villages, children help their families from a young age. A boy carries a small wooden bucket toward the chicken coop. He opens the simple wooden gate. Inside, the chickens wander slowly across the dirt ground. Some scratch the soil with their feet. Others peck quietly at scattered seeds. The boy reaches into the nesting boxes. One by one, he gathers the eggs. He places them carefully into his basket. Nearby, a young girl helps her mother grind grain. They sit beside a heavy stone tool called a hand mill. The girl pours small amounts of grain into the center of the stone, then slowly turns the upper wheel. The grain crushes into flour beneath the stone. This work takes time, but the girl works patiently, because the flour will soon become bread for the family. Even simple tasks like these help keep the village running smoothly. Across the village, the blacksmith begins his work for the day. Inside his workshop, a fire burns brightly inside a stone furnace. The blacksmith places a piece of iron into the flames. Slowly the metal grows hotter. Its color changes from dark gray to glowing orange. When the iron is ready, he lifts it carefully with metal tongs, then places it onto the heavy anvil. With a strong hammer, he begins shaping the metal. Clang, clang, clang. The steady rhythm echoes through the village. Each strike changes the shape of the glowing iron. Soon the metal begins forming a horseshoe. Horseshoes protect the hooves of horses traveling along rough roads. Without the blacksmith, many important tools would not exist. His work is essential to the village, yet even the sound of his hammer feels calm, a steady rhythm blending into the quiet life of the countryside. Beyond the village, the fields stretch far across the rolling land. Farmers begin working their strips of farmland. Some guide oxen pulling wooden plows, others carry baskets of seeds. The soil turns slowly beneath the plow. Long dark lines appear in the earth. Seeds are placed gently into the soil, then covered again with loose dirt. This careful work continues throughout the morning. The fields feel peaceful. Wind moves softly across the crops. Birds glide through the sky, and the wide open land stretches endlessly in every direction. For many villagers, the fields are not just a place of work. They are a place of quiet reflection. A place where time moves slowly, where each day follows the gentle rhythm of nature. As the morning continues, another important place in the village becomes active. Just beyond the last row of cottages, a small stream flows quietly across the countryside. Beside this stream stands the village mill. The mill is a sturdy wooden building with a large turning wheel. Water from the stream pushes against the wheel, causing it to turn slowly. As the wheel turns, it powers heavy stone grinding wheels inside the mill. These stones crush grain into flour. Flour is one of the most important ingredients in medieval life. Without flour, there would be no bread. And without bread, most meals would feel incomplete. A farmer arrives carrying a sack of grain over his shoulder. He pushes open the wooden door of the mill. Inside, the steady grinding sound fills the room. The large stones rotate slowly. Grain pours between them, turning into fine powder. The miller watches carefully. He adjusts wooden levers, ensuring the stones grind the grain evenly. Soon the farmer's sack begins filling with fresh flour. He thanks the miller, lifts the sack again, and slowly walks back toward the village. The steady turning of the mill wheel continues, round and round, powered only by the quiet strength of flowing water. Far beyond the village, rolling green hills stretch toward the horizon. Here a shepherd guides a small flock of sheep across the grass. The sheep move slowly together. Their thick wool coats protect them from cool winds. The shepherd carries a long wooden staff. He walks calmly behind the flock, watching carefully as they graze. From time to time, one sheep wanders too far from the group. When this happens, the shepherd gently guides it back. Sometimes a sheepdog helps with this task. The dog runs quickly across the hillside, circling the flock. But today the sheep move peacefully. No dog is needed. The shepherd pauses on a small hill. From here, he can see the entire countryside. The village sits quietly in the distance. Thin lines of smoke rise from chimneys. Fields stretch across the land like soft green carpets. Above everything, the sky remains wide and clear. Moments like this are common in medieval life. Quiet moments watching the land and animals. Moments where time seems to move slowly. Back on the village road, a few travelers continue their journeys. One man walks beside a wooden cart pulled by a horse. The cart carries several wooden barrels. Inside the barrels is ale. Ale is a common drink in medieval times, safer than river water, and often served during meals. The traveler plans to sell his barrels in the next town. As he approaches the village, he pauses briefly near the well. He drinks from his water flask, resting his tired legs. Travel in medieval times can be long and exhausting. Roads are rough. Journeys take many hours. sometimes several days. But travelers are an important part of the medieval world. They bring goods, they carry messages,
and sometimes they bring stories from distant places. After a short rest, the traveler climbs back onto his cart. The horse begins walking again. Slowly, the cart disappears down the dusty road. By late morning, the sun climbs higher into the sky. The air grows warmer. Farmers in the fields begin slowing their work. Tools are set down for a short rest. Many farmers sit beneath trees, seeking shade from the growing heat. They open small cloth bundles containing their midday meal. Often the meal is simple: bread, cheese, and perhaps a few onions or apples. The food is plain, but satisfying after several hours of work. Farmers eat slowly, talking quietly with one another. Sometimes they share small stories. Other times, they simply enjoy the peaceful silence of the countryside. A gentle breeze moves through the wheat fields. The tall stalks sway softly, almost like waves on a quiet ocean. Back in the village, several craftsmen continue their work. Inside a small wooden workshop, a carpenter shapes pieces of oak wood. Using a sharp iron tool, he shaves thin curls from the surface of the wood. The curls fall slowly to the floor. The carpenter is building a sturdy wooden chest. Chests are important for storing clothing, tools, and valuable belongings. Nearby, a woman sits beside a spinning wheel. She pulls soft wool fibers through her fingers. The wheel turns steadily, twisting the fibers into thread. The thread will later be woven into cloth. Cloth for clothing, cloth for blankets, and cloth for many other household needs. Spinning requires patience, but the steady turning of the wheel feels almost calming. Round and round, the wheel continues spinning. By early afternoon, the entire village settles into a slower rhythm. The busiest part of the morning has passed. Farmers return briefly from the fields. Children rest in the shade. Animals wander quietly through small yards. The bakery smells faintly of warm bread. The blacksmith's hammer strikes less frequently now. Clang, pause, clang. The village square sits peacefully beneath the afternoon sun. A cat naps beside a wooden barrel. A few chickens wander slowly across the dirt road. The well stands quietly at the center of the square. Moments like this define life in medieval villages. Not dramatic moments, not exciting moments, just peaceful stretches of ordinary life. The kind of calm moments that pass gently from hour to hour. Slowly, soft white clouds begin drifting across the sky. Their shadows move across the farmland. The sunlight fades briefly, then returns again as the clouds pass. Farmers glance upward, but the clouds look harmless. No storm appears to be coming today. Good weather means the crops will continue growing strong. In the distance, a flock of birds moves across the sky. Their wings beat steadily as they travel toward distant forests. The countryside remains calm, quiet, and beautifully simple. In the medieval world, time is measured differently. There are no digital clocks, no glowing numbers counting every second. Instead, people watch the sun. They observe the shadows. They listen to the bells of the church. Time flows naturally with the rhythm of the day. Morning work, midday rest, afternoon tasks, evening meals, then the quiet return of night. For the villagers, this rhythm rarely changes. Season after season, year after year, life continues slowly, guided by the rising and setting of the sun. The afternoon stretches calmly across the countryside. Farmers return to their fields. Children resume their small chores. Craftsmen continue their patient work. The wind moves softly through the wheat. The mill wheel turns beside the quiet stream. And the peaceful village continues another gentle day. Unhurried, simple, and calm.